Alright, the best way to get started 3D printing is probably Thingiverse.com. It's Thingiverse, like universe, but this is the universe of things, so it's Thingiverse.com or Thingiverse.com. And as you can see, it's a whole bunch of stuff on here. This is just the most recently updated uploaded stuff. You can search either in a general sort, like if I search for Star Wars, it'll pop up everything that's related to Star Wars. If I want to get more specific, I can be like, oh yeah, I want to search for Chewbacca, and just specifically search for Chewbacca, and you will still find all kinds of stuff on here because there's an amazing repository of things on Thingiverse, and these are all, for the most part, 3D printable objects. Some of them, yeah, keychain. This looks like it might be a vector file, but everything else is an actual 3D printable object. So what you do to download it in order to get 3D printing is you just click on the object you want. Take this little guy, he's pretty cute. And you're going to click the Download All Files button. Now this is important. This is how they make their money. A little download thing pops up. So wait for it to actually start downloading. And then you can exit out of here. And as you can see here, it says there's one thing file, which means that this is not an assembly. It's just one thing. Once it 3D prints, it looks just like this, and then you can paint it or what have you. Some things are assemblies, so they'll have multiple thing files, so you want to make sure once it's downloaded, you get everything. In this case, we only need to worry about the one file. Now, when it opens up, you see all this other stuff that got included. That's not necessary for 3D printing. What is necessary, however, though, is to extract the file because they're zipped. So what you do is just click on the Extract All button. You can extract it right to your Downloads folder. Click Extract again. It extracts for you, opens up, and then just go to the Files folder. Ignore all this other stuff and just go to Files, and you'll see your Chewy Final, which is your 3D object, aka your STL file. Because if you click on right-click, go to Properties, you see 3D objects are actually .stl files. So that is how you download things off of Thingiverse. Now this isn't going to do you any good unless you slice it. So once you've downloaded it off of Thingiverse and you've extracted it and it's sitting in your downloads folder, I'm going to close this and I'm going to exit out of Thingiverse. And I'm going to open up Craftware, which is my slicer. Here it is. You can run any slicer you like. I use Craftware because it's free and I like how color-coded it is, and I get good results with it. So this is my choice of slicer. Okay, so when Craftware opens up, a lot of times whatever was being worked on previously is still on the grid there. So you can just click on it and then hit the delete key, and that'll get rid of it. Now, in order to add stuff to the bed here, you just click the Add button, the green Add button at the top, and you browse to. I'm going to browse. I've downloaded Chewbacca a couple of times, so I'm going to go to today's download of Mini Chewbacca. I'm going to go to Files, and I'm going to click on Chewy Final. I'm going to open him up. And there he is, and he's lying down. Now, I don't want my Chewbacca lying down. I want my Chewbacca standing up for my print, because I think I'll get better print quality with him standing up. So I'm going to click on the Drop button over here. I'm going to click on the bottom, and that's going to snap him to the print bed there. This part here is called the print bed. And when you use that drop function, what it does is whatever surface you click on, it snaps that surface to the, so if I click on the side here, it snaps that surface to the side, and so forth and so on. So that's to use drop to reposition things. And then if you want to, you can scale it. You can click on scale, and then you can go down here on the bottom, and you can change the size of Chewbacca. You're like, I want to make him smaller and cuter. I'm going to make him 30 millimeters instead. Fantastic. All right, done and done. So there you go. That's how you would reorient things. You can scale them. You can move them. But basically, just to get started, all you need to know how to do is resize and drop things in order to orient them the way you want, so to speak. Now, you're going to want to go to Options, which is this golden colored wheel, a gear wheel, just like in Google. And you're going to see these options here for size, width, depth, and height. Now, it's important to know the size of your print bed. This information is available from your 3D printer's manufacturer. especially the Z height, you're not going to usually be able to measure and get that. You can probably just use a millimeter ruler or centimeter ruler and figure out your X and your Y, but your Z is a little bit trickier because that's the height. And you usually got to just check the specs from the manufacturer for that. But it's important that you make sure all of this is accurate, because if it's not accurate, what will happen is your extruder, meaning the thing that pumps out the molten plastic, may start printing off of the bed, and it just creates a huge mess. So you've got to make sure that the size is all correct here. And then you just click OK. Next thing you do is you're just going to click the slice button. Nice and easy. Do not switch to expert mode if you're a beginner. So for now, you've just got 3 print qualities to choose from. I like to start with medium because you never know how things are going to turn out. Maybe you'll get really great results with medium, and then you won't have to go to high or ultra. Or maybe it won't print right at all, and then you won't have wasted a bunch of time. So I always start with medium. We're always using PLA, at least in the classroom, because it gives off less toxic fumes. ABS is better for parts that may be under stress. PLA is I'm trying to say smoother, I guess is the best term for it. So it's good for printing stuff like figurines and things like that. It's got a lower melting point. You're going to automatically generate support, and I like to add a raft to most things because it increases your bed adhesion, which means how well stuff sticks to the bed. So I'm going to click Slice. It automatically takes care of generating the supports. Now it looks like Chewbacca's wearing eyeliner. You go around. You can see how they added in these supports for Chewbacca. Those will be broken away after you're done printing, and you've got a little raft that he's sitting on now as well. So now your final step is just to click here where it says Save G1. And then what you're going to want to do with this is you're going to want to save this to an SD card, because the SD card is what's going to actually go in your printer, unless you're lucky enough to have a computer that talks directly to your 3D printer. A lot of times you're going to have to transfer the file either on USB or SD card. So I'm going to show you how that works. You stick in a USB drive, and it'll pop up as a D or an E or whatever, and then all you do is click on your drive. Pops up all this stuff here. This is all my fun stuff on my D drive there, and then you just click Save, and it will show up. And you can also make your own folder if you want to by creating a new folder on here. Just click this New Folder button. It'll take a second because I've already got a bunch of stuff on here, like my taxes, for example. So from here, you just call this, let's call this, I'm going to call this G code, because that's what this is. And then I'm going to open up this file here. Again, it's running a little slow. And then I'm just going to click Save. So that's how you would also save it to a USB or an SD card. It works the same way. It's just basically a removable drive. And then you take that removable drive, stick it in your 3D printer, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. All right, and that's it.